What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is your review for Black Ink Crew. What season we on? Season 7, episode 4. So we start this episode off. We got the fellas. They talking down at the shop. They tried to steal Ryan's food. He handled it better than me. They was straight sitting over there divvying up his food. He was like, "This is my food. Like, this is my dinner. What are y'all doing here?" But we talk about the convention, and Ryan said that he made sure that they put Charmaine next to him because he understands how hard it is, and this is her first convention and she's never done it before, and that way if something goes wrong or whatever, he's right there to help her and help her out, look out for her. And I was like, that I can appreciate that. And again, that just goes back to letting us know that Ryan and Charmaine are definitely back in a better place. They're back in that brother sister mode where he's looking out for her. He don't want to see her fail, and I can appreciate that. Don was talking about how disappointed he was in his gym not opening, and again, being a business owner, every day delayed his money out the door. And so he was just frustrated by that and, about that whole situation. Ford lets him know that he done moved out the house. And, of course, Ryan and Don are like, are you serious right now? Like, right now is the time where you kind of need to be there. Like, and again, I see both sides of this coin. Ford's thing is, they don't need me being there if all we're going to do is argue. Their thing is, listen, she is hormonal. Y'all going to argue because she feeling how she feeling. But now is not the time to leave because now she's going to feel abandoned. Like, this is the worst time to leave. Ford was like, listen, I understand how they feel and I respect where they coming from, but what's done is done. Like, I'm out the house. It is what it is. He was like, at the end of the day, he's still going to be there to, do what he got to do as far as be a father, but they're just not in the best place and he just doesn't want that energy. Then we see Ashley and Nikki. Not Nikki. I keep wanting to call that girl Nikki, and I know she ain't Nikki. Nikki is the ex-girlfriend, child. His baby mama. I hate calling people baby mamas, but child, I can't think of her name right now. I'll remember it in a second. But they're at a birthing class. She said with everything going on, she hadn't had a chance to really do a birthing class, but Ashley agreed to do it with her. And they go through the whole thing with the birthing class or whatever. And then, of course, they talking afterwards. And she's letting Ashley know that Ford wants a DNA test. And Ashley is like, I know the hell he didn't. Like, if Nina, that's her name. She was like, if Don had asked me for a DNA test right before I was getting ready to give birth to our child, I probably would have caught a charge. And, but Nina's thing is, listen, at the end of the day, he could say what he want to say, but I know this is his child. He can have as many tests as he wants, and they're going to change the results. So, and what I didn't realize was she relocated to Chicago from Texas. I knew that, Ford had moved to Texas, and I get that, but that's a lot too. She relocated. I mean, I see her mother lives in Chicago, or at least her mama is there for filming. Let me go put it that way. But I definitely have to give, that's, you add that extra pressure that she doesn't really have the same support system that Ford has. It's just a lot, and it's unfortunate. And again, once again, we are dealing with the consequences of bad decisions. And I ain't talking about the bad decision I had a baby. I'm talking about that night that the baby was conceived, bad decision. Okay? Something didn't happen right. Anyway, move on. I know things happen. Don't put it in my comments, that mistake that I get it. I'm just saying. Moving on. Down to Second City, we have Miss Kitty and we have Drea, and they are talking about all the things that are wrong in the shop. Kitty is like, listen, we got this convention coming up. I don't know nothing. I can't order business cards. I can't order flyers. I can't order merch because Charmaine is not communicating with me. Charmaine is not letting me know what's going on. Charmaine is not telling me the who, the what, the when, the where, and the how of this situation. And because of that, I can't do the job that she asked me to do. And on top of that, we have new people showing up every day down here at the shop. She's not even giving me the courtesy of saying, this person is coming, this person is coming, this person is coming. One person they got only been tattooing for a year. Another person has only been tattooing for a couple of months. I don't know these people. I don't know nothing about them. I don't know nothing about their clientele. Then they have a lady sitting in the lobby waiting on Prince. The woman had been sitting there for 4 hours waiting on Prince. Don't nobody know where Prince is. Prince ain't called the front desk to say, listen, I am running late. I got a client sitting there waiting on me. Can you please handle it? Please somebody take my appointment, or please reschedule her for me. I ran into a situation. They talked to her and she let them know she been sitting there for 3-4 hours waiting on Prince. She just want her tattoo done. Drea was like, listen, Prince, I ain't trying to take your client, but she wants her tattoo done today. And she been sitting here waiting. What you want us to do? So he tells her she can go ahead and do the tattoo. So Drea does the tattoo, child. And of course the girl is happy. And it did look nice. It looked really nice. But at the end of the day, we're right back where we started with Charmaine being an MIA business owner. Now, I'm going to get back to that later because we're going to get back to that later. Okay. Now, Charmaine, again, let's go ahead and talk about Charmaine for a second. Charmaine is definitely dealing with the drama and the stress of getting her dad back to Louisiana, dealing with the fact that ultimately her dad is dying. When they go to hospice, that's it. That's a wrap, And he wants to go back to Louisiana. And I understand, like Charmaine said last week, it's sort of bittersweet because it's like, well, I know that's what he wants to be, and that's what's going to make him happy, but it takes him away from me. And so we see her struggling with that. And later on in the episode, we do see her bringing her dad home from the hospital. They have family there. She said, I know that my dad probably didn't want to see a whole lot of people, but at the end of the day, I know how important family is. And I feel like what she was saying, because if this were a normal circumstance, I would say, Charmaine, that was selfish. If you knew he didn't want to see nobody, you should have respected that. But I think what was behind that statement was, this might be the last time my family gets to see him. And I understand that he probably didn't want to be bothered with people. But I want people to see him. And I understand that too. I see that, because again, if this were just, oh, he had surgery and he's coming home to recover and this is his first day home and he don't want to see nobody, I'd be like, all right, Charmaine, you could have waited. But I get it. Because I think they left like the next day or maybe 2 days later and took him back to Louisiana. So I get it. And they take him back to Louisiana and get him settled. And again, it's hard. I don't envy anything about this situation with Charmaine. I think I'm just blessed. I'm just glad to see that Charmaine is blessed that financially they were in a position to do some things for her dad that maybe everybody may or may not be able to do. So with that, I'm blessed. But we'll get back to Charmaine and her business owner skills in a minute, okay? Miss Kitty and Drea are down at the shop again, talking about all of the horrible ways that Charmaine is running the shop. Talking about how Charmaine promised this time would be different and everything would be going this way and that way. But she is still an absentee owner. Drea said, listen, I did all the paperwork for this convention. She don't know nothing. I submitted it. I did this. I did that. And we had to come out of our own pockets to pay for the pay to go to the daggone convention. This is how your tattoo shop gets on the map. This is how people get to know who you are outside of being on the show. Outside of, Charmaine has a leg up that most tattoo shops don't have. You do have a national platform. But again, if people go to Chicago and they want to get a tattoo done in Second City and they show up and ain't nobody there or whatever, then it's all out the door. Now, we ain't going to talk about the stories we done heard about these Black Ink Crew shops not being on the up and up. We ain't gonna talk about that. We're gonna let that go. Moving on. But Drea, I think, had some valid points just about being in the shop and the shop being appropriate, everything working, supplies. She was talking about how there weren't enough supplies, how things weren't working. And, she said at the end of the day, if I wanted to do the convention, I could have done the convention myself under my own umbrella. Like, I don't need Second City attached to my name for people to want to come to my booth and get a tattoo. I was like, well, that's probably true. But this platform helped that. I'm not saying nobody knew who she was before, but the platform definitely helped people say, oh, Drea, I want her to do my tattoo. Right? Moving on. Nina is in labor. Four's on his way to the hospital. He gets to the hospital. They're thinking about doing a C-section. Nina doesn't want the C-section. Her mama doesn't really want the C-section. They want to wait and see if the baby dilates a little bit more. They end up at the hospital for like hours upon hours upon hours. But ultimately, she does have a healthy baby. It looks like she was able to give natural birth. And so, congratulations to Ford and his family. We saw Ryan and Dawn down at the park, you know, playing a little basketball. They called Ford to check in on him, you know, and all of that. And Ryan was talking again about how he's really struggling with this whole Marcus situation. Marcus was at his son's birthday party, but he know he was gonna be there, and then it was just a whole mess. But again, ultimately, if they're going to continue to be in each other's lives one way or the other, then they need to figure out a way to make it work. I ain't say they gotta be friends, but they gotta make, you know, figure out a way to be comfortable. And I'm gonna say this: I understand you're angry, Marcus, and what Ryan did to you, no, there's no defense to it. But if that was Ryan's son's birthday, I just feel like you knew he was gonna be there, and you probably should have just stayed out of it. That's my opinion. That's probably a place you don't need to go. Now, if it were a family gathering where anybody and everything, but if it's his son's birthday, you know he's going to be there. Let him have that one. That's just me. Charmaine shows up down to Second City to have a meeting. She said, you know, people have been talking about me, and I know where it's coming from, and I need to address some things. So Charmaine came in hot. She's upset because Drea put in the group chat that she doesn't think that their booth rent should be $1,600. Now, what it sounded like is that up until this point, the booth rent was a percentage off of their tattoos, not a flat rate of $1,600 a month. Drea's thing is, I just don't think that this facility is worth me paying you $1,600 a month. Now, I don't know nothing about booth rents. I don't know what the going rate is for booth rents. I don't know if that's high or low. But what I do know is you could do, because the thing I do know about tattoos is depending on the size of a tattoo, you may only get a chance to do 1, maybe 2 tattoos a day. Maybe you make $1,000, $800 for the 2 tattoos. I feel like you can make $1,600 in a couple of days. And you mean to tell me you got a whole month? It ain't $1,600 a week. It's $1,600 for the month. That doesn't sound high to me. And honestly, I would rather pay a $1,600 a month booth rent than you taking a percentage off of every damn tattoo I do. I think there's more independence of me just giving you my $1,600 a month versus you making a percentage off of everything I bring in this shop. That's just me. That's my business model. But I also understand where Drea is coming from. Drea is like, listen, I don't mind paying $1,600 a month if I felt like this facility was doing what they needed to do. She said, if we're going to pay $1,600 a month, then we shouldn't have had to pay our own money to go to the convention. That should have been covered. Like if I'm paying you and I'm representing this company, then the company should have covered our fee for the convention. She said, we should never be out of supplies. She said, we don't have any Wi-Fi. Now, I don't know what company in this day and age doesn't have Wi-Fi. And here's what upset me about Charmaine. Taking into consideration you dealing with what you're dealing with, I'm gonna put that to the side. My problem with Charmaine, just like it was last year and just like it is now, you cannot be flippant about other people's complaints when it comes to your business. If Drea is telling you as a tattoo artist, listen, you have put me in a situation where I am not prepared, where I don't have what I need, and if this is what you are supposed to provide, what you can't do is say, I mean, we talking about a printer. What's the big deal about a printer? So what, you don't have a printer? Meaning, if I stencil my tattoos, I can't print my tattoos if the printer I use works off of the Wi-Fi and there's no Wi-Fi. Like, all of that's connected. If there are no supplies, and she was like, well, you should have your own supplies. That's not the point. See, that's the shit I deal with when it comes to teaching. Oh, well, y'all making a big deal about paper? Why you can't bring your own paper? Why is it a big deal about paper? The big deal is, if y'all run out of paper, that could put me in a bad situation as far as, well, prior to the pandemic. As far as what I need to do my job well. I can't print out copies. I can't make, worksheets. I can't make, materials for my classroom. I am at a disadvantage if I don't know that there isn't going to be supplies there. You saying, well, you can come out your own pocket. What's the big deal? Well, hell, now you're saying what I should and shouldn't do with my paycheck when you're supposed to be providing those things for me. So if Charmaine's job as the shop owner is to make sure that there are supplies in the closet, to make sure that the Wi-Fi is cut on and working so that I can do my job well, I don't think that Charmaine should be so flippant about these people's concerns. Now, you didn't appreciate the fact that she put it in the group text because that's what everybody else is paying. I understand that part because I feel like maybe Charmaine is saying, well, you trying to create a mutiny. You know, you didn't come to me one-on-one and say, hey, girl, I think this is a little high. And I think she even said $1,400. So I have $1,600 in my head. Maybe $1,400 was the price, but neither here nor there. Like, hey, girl, you could have pulled me to the side and had a conversation with me. Like, I got these new tattoo artists here. This is the price I negotiated with them. Maybe I would have worked something out with you on the sidebar, but you putting it out there for everybody, that's put me in a bad situation, and you making me look bad. So I really appreciate the fact that you, like, keep it over there. Like, you could have come and talked to me. So the two of them ended up getting into an argument because now Charmaine is on that bullshit again. Well, it's my shop, and I say this and I say that, and if you don't like it, you can leave. You can leave. And of course, Drea was like, you know what? F you, F this shop. She said, well, you can pack your stuff now or pack it later. If not, I'm going to have somebody pack it for you. And Drea was like, don't you touch my shit. If you touch my shit, it's going to really be a problem. She was like, I will burn this whole place down. Now, I don't think that was probably the best decision to say. I'm just saying. But I definitely understand where she's coming from and saying, don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my supplies. Don't touch my things. Like, I can definitely understand that. Then Kitty is trying to defend Charmaine, and she sort of comes in to defend her. And again, they get into an argument. Kitty, you know, Charmaine is like, well, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Kitty was like, I can't do it. And what it sounds like with them is, Charmaine was like, once Kitty found out that she wasn't going to be working here in the capacity that she was working, then she stopped calling me. She was like, we were friends. When she was back in DC, we were talking to each other every day on the phone. She was calling me every day and checking on me. Now, when I need her the most, when I need a friend the most, she's not there. And Kitty was like, girl, I called you and you said it wasn't a good day to talk. And I'm trying to respect that you're going through something, and I didn't want to, like, inundate you. You know, like, I can't, I'm damned if I do it, I'm damned if I don't. Like, I thought I was, like, looking out. They get to arguing, going back and forth. Mind you, they're having this whole blow up in front of the new people. If I was one of the new people, baby, that'd have been my last day. Ain't no way. What the hell? Like, and again, granted, we filming the show. The cameras are right there. Okay, right. But in a real world, in a real situation, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. Like, I am not a part of this. I am removing myself from this situation immediately, right? But anyway, again, my problem with Charmaine is just like with last season when they were opening all this up and she missed this deadline and the failed inspection and all that. She never wanted to take responsibility for her part in what went wrong. Your responsibility is that, one, you have been an absentee owner, and I get it. You don't want anybody to feel like they have too much authority because of what you went through with, you know, the last situation. I get it. But if Kitty is your friend, then you have to trust her and say, Kitty, listen, you know what I got going on. I'm not going to be able to be at the shop every day. I'm going to hire the people, but can you please do an orientation with them? Can you show them where their station is going to be? I'm not trying to turn you into a receptionist, but I'm still looking for a receptionist. Like, if you really want to help me, this is what I need your help with. And do me a favor, because as brand ambassador, we have this convention coming up. Please email me so I'll have it in writing so I can work on it. Email me what it is you need from me so that you can do what we need to do to be ready for this convention. As far as business cards, like, do you need these people's names and what their name is supposed to look like? What company are we using? What funds are we using to pay for these supplies? What signage do you think we need for the convention? Are we gonna get t-shirts? You know, nowadays with the mask, do we want to order some masks with the logo? Like, those are the conversations you should have been having with Miss Kitty. And the fact that you were MIA and none of that was happening, you can't put all of that on them. You can't keep turning this into it's a them against me and they just trying to tell me how to run my shop. No. And the funny thing is, that's the same problem y'all used to have with Ryan. See how easy it is to fall into that mindset of it's mine and I don't want to share with nobody because I don't want nobody to tell me what to do in my shop, even if sometimes it's a better way of doing things. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. That was pretty much the episode. Talk to y'all later. Peace.